I'm good. Doing fine.
Yeah? Anything
Yeah.
special today or just a normal average day?
Uh, I yeah, I think there is anything special. I had
I would
a
say something special.
call, something special. I just had a call with a freelancer. I mean, with the recruiter from UK.
From where?
From UK.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And
It was
is it
via
for like a
phone call.
full-time job or?
Mm, it was just uh, a get to know phone call. Just she just wanted to know what I'm looking for and how she can help me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And do you
it
think
was
anything's
via
gonna come out of it?
hopefully, hopefully. So there's nothing. I don't know. Doesn't have any opportunity for now, but if she has in the future, she will contact me.
That's good.
I guess.
But from my experience, when people say things like that, it's pretty much them saying things like, they're just trying to be nice, right? Did you feel like you got
Yeah,
any sort of vibe that maybe it wasn't the right kind of job? Like, what kind of vibes did you get?
it was not for a job. It was with a recruiter that finds me jobs.
Like a full-time jobs or freelance type of jobs?
Uh, Freelance type of jobs. I mean, I'm looking for a full-time job, but remote.
Mm-hmm. I'm really curious though. What's the main reason that you want a full-time job as opposed to like freelance jobs?
Uh, like I said, I don't want to introduce too many new things in my life, and this freelancing would be new to me. I mean, just now to sell myself and find a job that's new,
Mm-hmm.
and I would like to continue with this remote contracts like I do, and after that to introduce new things. I mean, to try maybe a short time opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah, but there's a big difference between like if you want to do freelance, freelance means either like contract work that's that can be up to full-time, but it's only for a set period of time, or it could be less than full-time work, which gives you time to
Right.
do other jobs on the side. But if you do a full-time job, that's not really freelance work.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. I can see your point, but I feel that this way I don't get scared because uh, this freelancing is new to me.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm thinking that I might only get the job for 1 week and then I need to find another job, that might scare me. But uh, if I go for at least 3 months, that's more likely to be uh, not so stressful to me.
Yeah, but that's why you gotta have a variety of jobs. Like I think I might have mentioned, like you should have contracts that are on short term, medium term, and long term. But if
Right,
you do full time, that's usually super long term, and it gives you little like zero flexibility to do other stuff. So
right.
all your eggs are in one basket. I mean, it's not necessarily bad, but if you want to try to do other stuff as well, it doesn't give you that option.
Yeah, yeah. I know. I'll see what I can get.
Yeah, I guess it depends on like how.
But most of the clients are interested in getting the job as fast as possible. So they are looking for me to work only on that project for that time.
Mhm.
And I think it's easier for me too because I don't need to uh, uh, change the focus.
Well, you shouldn't have to anyway, because the jobs are going to be related to what you're good at anyway. Because changing your focus is gonna take time for you to learn something new and get used to it and all that sort of stuff. So you should ideally, regardless of the type of job, you should be doing what you're good at anyway.
Yeah, Yeah, I'm good at programming. I think.
Okay, what kind of programming languages are you best at?
uh, Mostly Swift, so I'm doing native iOS. But I found out that in freelancing, there's this trend to do cross-platform programming, like to develop one app that works for both Android and iOS.
Yeah.
And right now, my apps only work are native and they work just on iOS,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know, they work better, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Well, see, for example, if you have flexibility and you don't have to dedicate all your time to a full-time job, then you have flexibility to do other projects. Like, for example, I'm working on a a application to help people with public speaking online,
Right,
for example. And before that, I was working on something else, um, different sorts of applications and stuff. And it gives me flexibility to go to competitions, participate at hackathons. I think we might have done. No, we haven't done that lesson. Yeah, participate at
right.
hackathons and actually continue working on those projects afterwards.
Yeah. So I'm thinking maybe like I don't know in the future, hopefully, uh, if I'll get more comfortable with getting a new job, and that's when I would probably try to work on multiple projects. But at this time, I'm struggling even getting one job. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe that's another thing to take into consideration.
Well, there's also the fact that if someone is going to hire you as a full-time employee, it's a bigger commitment for both you and them. So that means they have to search really well, and they're going to be a lot more picky with who they choose. And
Right.
if you do something more short term on a contract basis, for example, 1 month, then after the month is done, they could decide, okay, should we continue working with this person or should we not? And it's easy for them
Right.
to decide, and then they don't it's not as risky for them. And because of that, you might have a better chance of landing different sorts of projects and stuff.
Right. I didn't look that way,
Mhm.
but it's a good point.
Anyway, let's jump into this lesson. Remote work. This is my latest one.
Your latest, you mean your most updated,
My most recent
your most
creation.
recent. Oh,
Yep.
and it goes well with the intro.
I know, right? Especially with what we're talking about. I think it's really relevant to today's current situation because of,
Yeah,
coronavirus.
yeah,
Everyone's
it
working
is.
remotely. So let's go ahead and jump in. Let's start with some reading.
Telecommuting, also called teleworking, working from home, mobile work, remote work, and flexible workplace, is a work arrangement in which employees do not commute or travel, example by bus or car, etc., to a central place of work, such as an office building, warehouse, or store. Telecommuting came into prominence in 1970s.
Yeah, in the
In,
1970s.
in the 1970s.
Yep. Any questions on this slide?
Prominence.
Oh, yeah, that's a vocabulary word. Let me see. I think it's the next slide.
It might be
It's over
because
here.
it's bolded.
It is. So if you notice the bold words, then those are vocabulary words. And let's actually go to the vocabulary. Can you actually read these?
Yeah. Prominence, noun, the state of being important, famous, or noticeable. Oh. Uh, Accustomed, uh, adjective, customary, usual. Okay. Constraints, noun, a limitation or restriction.
Yep.
Adhere, verb, believe in and follow the practices of.
Good.
Dictate, verb, the state or order authoritatively.
Good. Authoritatively. Yeah.
Authoritatively. authoritatively.
Any questions on these words?
Uh, no.
Cool. All right, so let's go back to this other reading here.
Working remotely isn't a new concept. People in all kinds of career fields have been doing it for years. Most people are accustomed to working from home every once in a while. Since the outbreak of COVID-19, many companies have been requiring all of their employees to work from home, and a large portion of the workforce are now expected to be skilled at the art of working remotely.
Yes, the art of working remotely. It's a form of art.
Okay, so is it the art or the art or uh,
What do you mean? What difference? Can you say it again?
uh, I read the art of working and you said the art,
Either
or
way is
maybe
fine.
I
It's
did.
just a preference, this word. So
Okay,
now expected to be skilled at the art or the art of working remotely. It's up to you how you pronounce that.
okay.
There's gonna be
Is it
plenty of
a
words that are pronounced differently but sound are the same word. Like for example, um, you know the word root?
yeah?
Yeah, well that can be pronounced root or it can be pronounced route.
Does it depend on in US versus British or
No, this
even
word
in
doesn't depend
US?
on that. I think it depends on preference or maybe region. Maybe people in the south say it a certain way or people in the west say it in a certain way. But I use both of them. Like, I don't know. And people do that too. For example, you know that famous road? It's called Route 66.
Yeah.
Well, for some reason, I remember having a discussion with one of my English teachers. We say Route 66, but if we say Route 66, it sounds weird. However, sometimes we say route when we're talking about the word in a different context. So this is just a matter of preference, and you're going to come across a bunch of words that are just preference. And I'll let you know if it's preference or not.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So a little more reading. Go ahead.
Most of us have been conditioned to work and focus because of outside constraints. Meetings force us to adhere to certain schedules. Office hours dictate our start and end time,
Good.
and managers' watchful eye keeps our internet surfing to a minimum for the most part.
Very good. Questions on this one?
Now, managers' watchful eye keeps our internet surfing to a minimum for the most part. What do you mean by this?
So it keeps your internet surfing to a minimum. Like, um, if a manager is watching you at all times, and you know that he's watching you, you're not gonna browse Facebook because you know that he's watching you. So
Oh,
that's what it's saying. A manager's
oh,
watchful eye keeps your internet surfing to a minimum.
right, but he can't do that while working remotely.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe he
but yeah,
can.
yeah, maybe.
Let me just take a note really quick. Let's say improvement to this lesson. Sometimes I see improvements as I do them. Cool. Do you have other questions on this one?
No. No. I thought maybe this paragraph was about working from home, but it was rather what were the conditions while working at the office.
Yeah, it's kind of just talking about how it compares or like what it's like
Yeah,
to work in the office. To maybe to give you a little more context.
yeah.
All right, next we have some questions. Go ahead and read that first one.
What sort of jobs can be done remotely? Uh, Mostly any type of jobs that require only a computer.
Mm-hmm. Do you have like a what are your top three examples?
uh, programming,
Of course.
uh, um, I guess English lessons.
Yeah, in my case, yes.
Yeah. Uh, Maybe mentoring, if that's a job. Is it a job?
I guess I would consider it a job, yeah. Mentoring, definitely.
Yeah. Or online English, online courses in general, not
Mm-hmm.
just English lessons or
Ooh,
webinars.
versus webinars, yeah. Especially now, there's a lot of people that are required to do stuff online.
Right. I saw that even doctors are required to do their job remotely.
Yeah, well, unless you actually see the patient and like check their pulse and stuff like that, a lot of doctors and nurses can do their stuff remotely. X-ray technicians, like
Right.
they could just look at the X-ray and give a recommendation based on that. But now
Right.
artificial intelligence is much better at doing that than any doctor.
That's not nice for the doctors. I mean, doctors should um, make use of help. M-
What do you
I
mean?
mean, should use the technology, but not really the technology should replace the doctors, I think.
But if the technology is more accurate than a doctor, you as a patient, what would you prefer?
Mm.
I don't know about you, but for me, if the technology was more accurate than a doctor, then I'll choose the technology over a doctor any day.
Oh.
Especially for something like a just looking at an X-ray, because that's like it doesn't take into account anything like a patient's emotions or communicating with a patient. Those are really big factors when you're a doctor or a physician, but just looking at an X-ray, it doesn't matter. So I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah.
That's just the way technology is changing the world. And those people who are going to be replaced by machines have to find new
Yeah, but
jobs.
maybe doctors would be better in not not the diagnose, but maybe asking the right questions to the patient.
Yeah, yeah. See, there's nothing that can replace like a human interaction. So a patient will always want a doctor to come into the room, and even if they were, if they're looking at a tablet, if they're just looking at a tablet and it says what to say and what to ask, a patient will still prefer that a human comes and does that than a robot because it's a human.
Right. Right.
Just for that reason. And I think the same goes for any sort of consulting or mentoring type of situation. Even English lessons, people might prefer to have a human rather than a robot teach them.
Yeah, traditional lessons. I
Yeah,
like this.
yeah, exactly. All right, let's go to that next question.
How has remote work changed over time? Uh, I think there it enables some companies to shine, like or to open.
Can you elaborate?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm thinking of all of these companies that do um, video calls, uh, uh, programs, applications, products. So all of these companies evolved because of this.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
What other companies do you think really had the opportunity to shine? Or what other.
uh, so these days, or maybe while working remotely, you prefer your food to be delivered?
Delivered? So, like food delivery companies?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe just delivery in general. Because me, for example, um, I decided to order some food, like, non-perishables, food that doesn't go bad, like vegetables and stuff,
Right.
to have it shipped, like from
Yeah.
Auchan. Like if you purchase over 200 lei from Auchan, shipping is free.
Right.
So I don't have to go to the store and buy it.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So you're right. Any type of delivery.
Hmm.
And let me see what else. Just the communication products involved because of this.
Hmm. Like Zoom and Skype.
Yeah. Yeah. Google Hangouts.
I don't like Google Hangouts.
Why not?
It just doesn't work that well.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it works better when there are many people, but
Yeah,
because it
maybe.
handles situations where the internet communication is the internet connection is not so good, so
Hmm.
it handles those better, I
But
think.
like, as far as technical aspects of those platforms, they might be better. But what bothers me most is that, as far as I know, or at least when I was using it, you couldn't have your own webcam up at the same time as the other person's webcam and sharing your screen, because I don't know why, but Zoom is the only platform that I've seen that allows you to share your screen and see yourself in the corner. Because I can see myself in the corner of my screen over here.
Right, right. I moved it in the middle, in the top middle. But yeah, you can do that in Google Hangouts too.
Well,
Try
I don't know.
now.
I haven't used it in a while, so maybe they changed it.
Yeah.
All right, let's do some quick matching.
Prominence. Uh, uh, the state of being important, famous, or noticeable.
Yeah,
Accustomed. Uh, customary, usual.
good.
Constraints, a limitation or a restriction. Adhere, uh, believe in and follow the practices of. Dictate, the state or order authoritatively.
Perfect.
Authoritatively.
All right, let's go ahead and move right along. Some fill in the blanks.
Set yourself up for uh, set yourself up for you can focus on uh, I think here would be set yourself up for no no
What's out of
tasks.
these words? Set yourself up for tasks in a place. I can see why
Mm,
you'd want to put that, but that's not the correct one. What what's something that you can set yourself up for? Try to guess one more time.
I think I can. We can focus on the set yourself up for. I don't know. Can I skip this?
Yeah, let's go to number two.
In a place where you can focus on the uh, uh, productive at hand.
Mm, try one more time.
Tasks at hand,
Yeah.
and maybe set yourself up for productive, for
Mm,
success.
for success.
Okay, set yourself up for success in a place where you can focus on the tasks at hand. The mental uh, loss.
The mental lost.
uh, no, no. Oh, okay. It's lost. Uh, the mental association you make between work and an office can make you more productive, and there's no reason that feeling should be lost when telecommuting.
Yeah, very good. Go ahead and try reading the whole thing now that you have the words filled in.
Set yourself up for a success in a place where you can focus on the tasks at hand. The mental association can you make between work and an office can make you more productive, and there's no reason that feeling should be lost when telecommuting.
Yeah, very good. Great. How'd you feel doing this exercise?
Uh, I found it difficult.
Is it because you're not
Interesting.
familiar with these words, or
I don't know why. Usually fill in the blanks are not that difficult, but this one was.
well, we have
Yeah,
another one here.
maybe.
It's a little more difficult than the other one.
Okay.
Let's see how you do on
Develop
this one.
develop rituals and have uh, a disciplined way of managing the day.
Good.
If you are used to moving physically, make sure you uh, if you are used to moving physically, make sure you uh, build that into your day.
Good.
If you are an extrovert and uh, accustomed to a lot of contact and collaboration with others, make sure that still happens.
Good.
When you run, uh, when you run your group meetings, aim for inclusion and balance the airtime so everyone feels seen and heard.
Good. Yeah, this one was supposed to be a little harder because there's 6 instead of 5 blanks.
Right.
But it seems like it was easier for you.
Yeah, maybe because the ideas were separated. I don't know. That one was just one paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't
Interesting.
make any difference. I don't know.
Interesting. Okay. Let me just take a look at what we have left. Okay. Alright, okay. Alright, so next we're gonna make some sentences. Let's just make 3 sentences for now, and we'll come back if we still have time. You can choose which
Um,
3.
okay. Uh, mm, I choose constraints.
Okay.
Uh, the only real constraints for working at the office uh, is just being there. So I try to say that nothing, there's not, there's not so much difference for me for working at home or at the office. So just
Mm-hmm.
need to be there.
So you're saying the only difference is actually being there?
Yeah,
But don't you feel a sense of camaraderie when you're surrounded by coworkers?
I don't know. Uh, it's an open space office. It's uh, filled by maybe 50 people or more,
Mm-hmm. 50 people.
50 people. Uh, I got used to it. It don't really uh, uh, get. I don't really interact with too many people outside my team.
Interesting. What about like random interactions where like you go to get some water from the break room or something and then you talk to people? Does that happen?
Not so much.
Really? What about during lunch? Don't you interact with your coworkers during lunch?
uh, only if I do it only with people that I know,
Mm-hmm.
not with people that I don't.
So you've never gone out of your way to grab lunch with someone new?
No.
Interesting. I wonder why.
Yeah, I'm an introvert, I guess.
Yeah. Anyway, let's look at the sentence that you said. The only real constraints for working at the office is just being there. The only real so when you say constraints, since you're saying constraints with the S, you're talking about more than one. So the only real
Okay.
what I think you should do here would be change the rest of the sentence to reflect more than one constraint, or change the word constraint to reflect that you're only talking about one. Which one do you prefer to do?
Uh, I would prefer to make constraints singular, but there is plural. So,
Yeah, I know. But that's what I would prefer to do here too. The only real constraint for working at the office is just being there. It makes the most amount of sense that way. That's fine. Let's move on to the next word.
uh, accustomed.
Okay.
Uh, I I got accustomed to work from home.
I got accustomed to work from home. There's one mistake in the word work. What?
Working.
Yeah. I got accustomed to working from home because it's something you're continuously doing.
Right.
Okay, next one.
Dictate. I've never really interacted with managers that try to dictate what you're doing.
To try to dictate what you're doing. I've never really interacted with managers that try to dictate what you're doing. Okay, good. I don't see any mistakes there. Let's go ahead and move on to some other exercises. Any questions before we move on?
No.
Alright, so now I want you to do some error correction. So these sentences have two mistakes each. I want you to identify and correct them.
When working from home, you're your own personal manager. You are your own personal manager?
So you're saying that these two words are wrong?
Yeah, they should be swapped.
Uh-huh. So, yeah. So it should be your, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Let's check. Yeah, you're right. Alright, number two.
How did you know that was the first mistake?
How did I know?
Oh no. I thought maybe every sentence has two mistakes.
Yeah, they do. Well, that was two mistakes, right? I guess. I don't know. Anyway,
Oh, okay. So, in my opinion, it was just only one because it's one operation, swapping.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I guess one operation you just swap it, or you can change each one and that would be two.
Yeah. Sorry for thinking in a programmatic way.
No, it's fine. It makes most sense. I thought about that too. Don't worry, but it's fine. I know the second one doesn't have that situation though.
Okay. Without things like in-person meeting schedule to break up your day, you can quickly lose focus. So one is a schedule to break up.
What do you
Two
mean?
is only one
Oh, with one O.
with one O.
Okay.
Without things like without in-person meeting schedule to.
I'll give you a hint. It's an article.
Okay. Without things like in-person meeting schedule to break up your day. Uh,
Do you want me to give you another hint?
should be don't schedule to break up your day.
So without things like in-person meeting, don't schedule. So what you need to do is you have to put in an article because there's an article missing somewhere in the sentence. Like for example, you have to
Okay.
put in the word the, an, or a somewhere in the first half.
Without things like in-person meeting schedule. Without things like
Without things like, so after the word like, you need to put an article.
uh actually I don't really get what this sentence is trying to say.
So what it's saying is that without meetings to break up your day, it's easy to lose focus. Um, I think it might be a little more
Oh, okay,
clear.
okay. To break up.
So look at this part right here. So without things like right here, between like and in, you need to include an article. Which article do you think fits best here?
Oh, I was trying to fit an in somewhere. That's why that's what I understood. Um,
Ah,
Without things like, I guess, on.
yeah, let's see. So without things like an in-person meeting to scheduled to break up your day.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Let's talk about some pros and cons now. What are some of the biggest pros to working remotely?
Uh, I guess not having to waste time for your commute,
Yeah, so not having to waste time commuting.
not having to waste time commuting.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, just give me your
i-
top three.
in my case, there are some fixed meetings, but other than that, you can schedule your uh, program how would you like.
Your schedule.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. You can schedule your day how you'd like, or yeah.
yeah, your day,
So you have
but
flexibility in your schedule.
somehow, yeah, somehow,
Not somehow,
uh,
somewhat. Somewhat.
so, somewhat,
Mm-hmm.
because I told you that I do have some fixed meetings
Yeah.
that I need to attend.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Uh, it's less noise.
Less noise. Well, that depends. What if you have like a family with little kids who are running around all the time?
It's less noisy if you don't have a family with little kids.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
uh,
Okay, so now let's do some
it,
cons. Or did you want to say something before that? What did you want to say?
it's both a pro and a con that you have food home.
So, food at home?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
So sometimes not having food requires you to get outside to go and get it.
Yeah, to go outside.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and um, I think that helps.
Yeah, it
Just
definitely
going
does.
outside and
Makes you go outside and take a break from working.
yeah, and get some fresh air
Yeah, definitely.
because I don't uh, I don't smoke or anything, so I don't take breaks outside.
Mm-hmm.
Only when I went for lunch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I used to smoke and now I don't anymore, but I would still go outside on the balcony and have like a cup of tea or an apple or something just to get some fresh air and take a break.
Yeah, I should try that.
Yeah. It doesn't really make sense for a non-smoker to just be like, I'm gonna go stand on the balcony. Sounds funny.
Yeah. Uh, what are some biggest cons to working remotely? Uh, just that the communication is different, and I noticed that uh, there are um, many notifications.
So there's a lot of notifications, lots of
There's a lot.
notifications.
There's lots of notifications while working remotely, and You need to filter them and don't
Interesting. Do
get.
you have like notifications from like your email or Slack or something like that?
Yeah, mostly Slack.
Is it mostly garbage?
Uh, Not really garbage, but I can't really lose my focus all the time to read what they are saying and try to uh, uh, follow
Mm-hmm.
every thread.
Yeah. Do you think there are some threads that you can just opt out of?
80% of the threads.
Oh, then what are you doing? Get out of those threads if you don't need them.
Eh, Yeah, I don't know. They think that you need to be in sync with everything, but I disagree with that. Maybe I don't know. If you want something, you can go to uh, ask someone, and
Or maybe
I
you
don't know.
can change the way you're notified. Instead of being notified, you should probably just, when you have some free time, check those threads that aren't urgent and
Yeah,
only keep the
yeah,
ones that are urgent um, to give you notifications.
yeah. I do that, but some might expect to answer or be available all the time.
Hmm. Okay, so lots of notifications. What are some other cons?
Uh, I guess having less in-person interactions, but we try to do um, video calls only, and
Yeah.
that might help.
So when you
And,
do
and
call someone, you do it with video every time?
yeah, yeah. I think that's most of because our business or our clients are mostly from United States, and they really prefer doing video calls
Yeah.
instead of just. They do like to see yourself.
I do too. It makes a big difference, and it's that's why I make it a requirement when I have my lessons.
Right. It does. It does. And we just got used to that and do that internally too.
Mm-hmm.
But I noticed that my girlfriend, she works with Germans. They don't use video calls,
Mm-hmm.
and it feels strange for me. I encourage her to try to try to do video calls
Mm-hmm.
and to see what happens.
Yeah, it tells a lot more about the person because I had a student that would during the lesson just be on his phone most of the time, and I can see him looking down and being on his phone all the time, you know? He's not paying attention. So it tells me a little more information about the person if they're paying attention or not, and if they have a right
What?
environment for learning. For all
Why
I know,
wouldn't
you could be
he?
sitting in bed, you know?
No, it's not
um,
professional.
it's not
I,
professional. It doesn't put you in the right
plus,
mindset.
yeah, you
Like
can't really
if I were to
focus.
ask you to like rotate your camera around and show me your office, would you be embarrassed by that?
I won't.
Some people would. I don't think I would. I would be embarrassed, but right now I'm working from my bedroom. Like my bed is like right there. Um, but I also have an office room in the other room that I work from as well. Sometimes I work from there, sometimes I have my lessons from there, sometimes I do it from here. I change it up every once in a while.
Yeah, not in my case. I have a home office. Actually, I changed my home office because there was just too much light in the old place.
Mm-hmm. Too much light.
Yeah.
Usually there's not enough.
Too, uh, no, there's too much light there, and it bothers me while looking at the monitor.
Do you have the window right behind the computer?
It's in front of the computer.
But you're in front of the computer.
So so the window is right in front of me. That's why I look so good. I mean, I mean,
Oh, that's why you look so good.
like the lighting is so good.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. So the window's behind your computer because the back side of your computer is facing the window.
right. So yeah, it's behind the computer.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it. because then the light from the window is shining on you. Like the window from my room is over there right above my bed.
Yeah.
Cool. So if you're curious, here's a few of the top pros and cons of working remotely. You mentioned this one with the flexible schedule, but you didn't really mention any of these cons. Let me see what you mentioned. You said communication is different and less in-person interactions. Do you find those here? Maybe this one, communicating,
Yeah.
notifications. I guess maybe distractions. Other,
And I said about not too many in person,
yeah,
or did I?
you did in-person interactions, but it's not here on this chart.
Loneliness?
I guess loneliness. What do you think is a solution for that if you work remotely all the time?
Uh, if you work remotely, just to go outside when you're not working.
Yeah, but now we can't because of the quarantine.
Okay, I've seen a lot of people doing group phone calls.
Yeah, that
I've
works.
done that too.
For me, the solution to loneliness is living in a space with more people because you naturally interact with other people.
Right, right. But you are fortunate to live in a shared space. I mean, co-working space, or.
Yeah, but that's because I created it. If it wasn't for me, it would not exist. I
Oh,
when I used to live in Bucharest, I lived in a big space, a big house with lots of people. And it was really nice because it gave me that environment. And then when I came to Cluj, I couldn't find one, so I made it.
wow, that's fascinating.
hmm And I want to make a bigger one because I still consider this one to be too small. It's like the MVP version of a real co-living space.
I
Which, sorry, go
good
ahead.
luck. Good luck on that.
Yeah, so if you're looking to invest into real estate, this is a real estate investment opportunity right now because real estate is dropping right now.
It is. It is.
It's
Actually, it's
something like 30%, I saw.
already, or it just started.
It already started dropping, but I heard it's a real estate investor said it's going to drop at least 30% in the next few
Right.
months.
Yeah. I can see why.
Would you ever live in a co-living space with a bunch of other people?
uh, Not really.
What?
Maybe just the I don't know, the place in university.
What do you mean the place in university? Like a dorm?
Yeah, yeah, the door.
So imagine a co-living space. It's like the dorms except it's for adults, not for students. So it's like adult dorms. You have more privacy, like a private room. You have more
Right.
you have more amenities, like I don't know, an office room or um, better amenities like a fully equipped kitchen, and maybe some have private bathrooms. But the idea is to share common spaces like the living room
Right.
or an office room.
So I only tried that once or two times while traveling,
And what was it
but
like?
so there were two types of accommodations actually. This one, a smaller one, was just a big apartment with a sharing with a shared living room and kitchen, and I haven't really seen people.
How many people did you share it with?
So there were supposed to be about eight private rooms,
Really? And they
but
all shared that living room and kitchen?
yeah, I think so, but don't know if they were all filled.
Okay, yeah. Interesting.
And I've never seen people in the living room.
Maybe they weren't filled, or maybe everyone was just introverts, or
Yeah, maybe. Or
that's another problem. Like if people are introverts and if they isolate themselves in the room, it kind of takes away the whole value.
Right, right. And I tried like hostels, and that's a different experience. And
Yeah.
you get shared the room with the other strangers, and that was okay, I guess.
Yeah, but it's not okay if you want some privacy, like your own bedroom,
Right,
which
right.
after a
So
certain age, you want that.
yeah,
Okay. So we still have quite a
but
bit of,
the hostel had better amenities, and there
like,
were a lot of people in the at the front desk, and it even had the bar.
oh wow,
Yeah.
interesting. Well, at least you had that experience and you have something to compare to, which is really nice. It's too bad that your co-living experience wasn't the best, but I mean, it wasn't that bad, I guess. But essentially,
It
what
was
makes it,
just
sorry, go ahead.
for a short time, like 5 days maybe at most.
Oh yeah, that's nothing. No, you gotta do it for like at least 2 weeks.
Right.
Well, if you work remotely, you can.
Theoretically, yeah.
Theoretically, as long as you have the right
Yeah,
environment. Like if you have a private room, then you can have your meetings in your room, and if you have an office room, then you can work from the office room, and as long as you have the right amenities.
it sounds really cool. It depends if you're, I don't know, maybe uh, what is your girlfriend doing? So
What do you
I don't
mean?
know. I mean, she's not a freelancer and she doesn't intend to become a freelancer. And I don't know, I just can't think of the idea of just going away for 3 months.
Yeah, it's tough if you live with someone else and they don't do that too. Maybe they can find a way to make money regardless of where you go. For example, there's jobs that people can do regardless of what city you're in. You know, they're transferable. Like, what does your girlfriend do, by the way?
She's a programmer
You can do that
like
remotely.
me.
What?
Yeah, she's afraid of finding jobs and things like that. She, I mean, I noticed that girls in general are much more attracted to stability and
Yeah.
comfort
Yep,
in
yep,
general.
yep. It's a girl thing. I know what you mean. If you say that to them, they're gonna say no, but it's true. Anyway, let's get to our next lesson. It's almost an hour since we started.
uh, I can this week, so maybe on Monday,
Monday, okay. So what time are you thinking?
1 to 2.
Perfect.
Are you used to this 13, 14 hour? I mean, to 24 hours. Uh,
I intentionally decided to get used to it because it made it easier to communicate with people in Europe.
yeah.
It's
In
one of the
Europe, is it?
things. What's that?
I think in UK it's not applicable, but
Maybe
or
not.
is it?
I don't know. But America does some things that are really stupid. Like they don't use a metric system, and they use AM PM. Even though the army, the navy, and any military uses international time, 24-hour mode.
Right. I noticed a lot of different things that are in the United States and not here, and it makes you wonder a lot of things.
Yeah, I think it's stupid because it makes things less efficient. Maybe that's intentional. I don't know.
Yeah. Even that all the toilets are different, or
Yeah, I actually heard in the southern hemisphere toilets flush the other way, like the water swirls the other way. Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard it's true. I don't know. Never seen it
it,
myself
it,
though.
it is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to see it with my own two eyes though.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, I will see you next week then. Um, any last questions or comments before we part ways?
Just Have a nice end of the week.
Yep, you too. Stay safe.
Bye.
Have a great rest of the day. Bye.
Bye.